Okay, this is just a short video explaining a couple of things about the Vinten HD-1 Tripod, about cleaning the legs, adjusting the clamping knob, and also testing to make sure that you've adjusted the clamping knob correctly, and if there may be a problem with the actual tripod clamping mechanism. So we're using a product which is just a Loctite SF7840. It's a degreaser and cleaner. So the best approach with this is just to get a lint-free sort of cloth material and just spray it on the actual cloth and clean the top legs. They're the ones that are the most important. They're the ones that actually have the clamping action happening on them. And just make sure you get the top section of it and the bottom section of it when you do the leg. The bottom ones that Alex is doing, you can do those as well. They're not really in the clamping mechanism, but if they get residue on them, it's probably not a bad thing to actually clean them as well while you're there. So after you've cleaned it, just get another dry cloth and just make sure that you go over and clean any sort of detergent or residue that's left on the actual legs after you've done the cleaning. And then just go around and do all three legs and then just let it dry there for a little bit. So effectively the way these tripods work, there's effectively some plastic sleeves which are actually in that actual housing there, and there's a block at the back that the knob actually tightens onto, and it pushes on those sleeves and effectively locks it around the leg. So if the tripod's contaminated or dirty or has anything on it, those sleeves will be sliding up and down the actual leg. So it's important that that's actually clean. So the next thing to look at is actually the clamp mechanism. So the way these clamp mechanisms work is they're more like a vise. So effectively, the old system used to use a torque-safe clamp, which was like a quarter turn. The issue with those is that they can be knocked out of position. So they only need to be turned like a quarter of a turn and the leg will come loose. This system's better because it needs more turns to actually lock, and it's harder for it to be knocked out. So I've just put a little red mark on this particular knob here, and you'll see when Alex tightens it up now that there's roughly about 1.5 full turns before it actually stops. So you'll rotate it around and it should, it is difficult to do, but it should stop, and you don't need to go any further with it. If you're having to keep clamping hard into the knob, then there may be a problem with the clamping mechanism. So you shouldn't be having to do it so that you're breaking your hand. Once you've gone around and done the clamping and obviously leveled the tripod, the way that we test it is you put your body weight onto each leg individually. Now, obviously this is going to be dependent on how heavy you are, but the tripod's actually rated for 120 kilos, so roughly each leg would have a load of 50 kilos on it before it should slip. In practice, we find that we can put double that weight on it, so we can put 100 kilos on it. So if you have someone that weighs 70 to 80 kilos, then the leg shouldn't really slip if someone puts 3/4 of their body weight on it. If you find it is slipping with someone who's around the 70, 80 kilo mark and they put half their body weight on it and it slips, then effectively there's a problem with it and needs to be taken out of service. So it's important that you do that test to make sure that it is correct and it's locked off before you start loading it up with your 75 kilos of equipment. So just to go through it again, use some lint-free cloths, use the Loctite that you've got, which is the SF7840. Clean mostly the top tubes, they're the important ones. The 1.5 turns that you need to do on the clamp, and then after you've done that, then effectively go around and just push your body weight on it. Make sure that as you go around that the leg's not slipping, and after that there shouldn't be any issues. Okay, thank you.